Colts fans, what up, yo? Skinny Boy Colts here with another video on the Indianapolis Colts. Yo, week 3 is here. The Colts host the Kansas City Chiefs in Lucas Oil Stadium Sunday at 1 o'clock. We got yesterday's practice reports coming from the Indianapolis Colts camp. Who's in, who's out, limited practices, full practices. The injury reports also coming off of Sunday's pathetic loss. Shutout to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We got that. We got tweets. We got so much to unpack. This little bitty suitcase because we got so little time to unpack, but I'm going to try my hardest to unpack all of it right here and as fast as I can. Yo, but before I do that, do your boy a favor. Hit that like button if you've been here and seen the videos before. Share the videos, trying to get the videos out there into that algorithm so we can get them far and wide. Yo, get it built up, get out the box, try to get to at least 500 to 1,000 by the end of the season. So, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like, hit that share. Leave your thoughts, your comments below in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing all that, subscribe to the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every time the Skinny Boy Coats drop a video. Yo, you can follow me on Facebook at SKINNIBOI Coats, Skinny Boy Coats. And if you want to help this channel grow in production, you can do that as well at SKINNIBOI1, Skinny Boy 1. Yo, with all that out the way, let's try to unpack this suitcase. I was trying to say some bad words there. I was going to say some bad words there. Let's try to unpack this suitcase, you know what I'm saying, as we get ready for week 3, coming off a horrible, pathetic loss and a shutout to the Jacksonville Jaguars last week in Jacksonville, a place where Frank Wright still 6 seasons going in cannot get a win. You know what I'm saying? So we tied with the tied with the Texans coming into the season in week 1. And then you get shut out to the Jags in week 2. 2 teams that were supposed to be cakewalks for us, just like last season. You know what I'm saying? I got into that in my other video. I'm not going to divvy into that anymore. But this is just a horrible and disgusting start to this season. You know what I'm saying? I see all the things about how Matt Ryan feels that coming to Indy, he can get his Vince Lombardi, but playing like this, you're not going to get no Vince Lombardi. And I'm not going to say that you're not going to turn it around, because if you can turn this thing around, that would be amazing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still going to ride that ass, you know what I'm saying, throughout the entire season. Good, bad, and ugly. You know what I'm saying? And if you do end this thing on a great note, and the football guys somehow just part the skies and bless us to get through to the, you know what I'm saying, playoffs, AFC championship, and grant us a Super Bowl victory. You know what I'm saying? I say let them all go on a high note, starting with Chris Ballard, Frank Wright, down to Matt Ryan, Gus Bradley too. So before I get into all that, let's talk about these injuries coming off of last week's game, man. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, the Indianapolis Colts camp reported that offensive tackle Bernard Raymond was out due to an injury. Alec Pierce was limited practice still due to his concussion. Questionable for Sunday's game against the Chiefs in his home opener. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a hurtful thing for him. He really wanted to try to be there for all 3 games. You know what I'm saying? Week 1, week 2, and week 3. Concussion that he got in week 1 against the Houston Texans down there in Houston. You know what I'm saying? They kept him out of week 2 and is questionable for week 3. Michael Pittman Jr. also same thing, battling that quad injury. You know what I'm saying? He was limited practice, but he was there in some type of practice form. That is good news, you know what I'm saying? Because these are our 2 starters going into Sunday's game against the 2-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Safety Julian Blackmon was a limited practice with his shoulder. DeForest Buckner also was a limited practice, you know what I'm saying, as we reported last week, with his hip. Defensive end Yannick Ngakoue was also a limited practice with a back. I feel like I'm leaving somebody out. Defensive tackle Grover Stewart also with his shoulder, and linebacker Zaire Franklin with his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of injuries coming off of last week's game, getting shut out. but they are in limited practice. Also, Shaquille Leonard Darius is back in full practice again. You know what I'm saying? This dude is standing in front of a microphone. He needs to put his damn suit on, get out there and earn a paycheck. So every time I see a video, it's him in front of a microphone talking. You ain't played a game yet. Anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the practices, you know what I'm saying? Left tackle Bernard Raymond with the ankle out. We're still waiting for today's practice report. It's 7 o'clock here in the Midwest. So, you know what I'm saying? I thought that it would have been released by now, but it's not just yet. So once I get that, you know what I'm saying, I'll report on that tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, with an update for the injury report going into Friday's practice with the Indianapolis Colts getting ready for week 3 against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look, man, you know what I'm saying? The last time that the Colts and the Chiefs faced each other, I believe it was in October in the regular season, and the Colts went down to Kansas City and put up 19 points. Jacoby Brissett ran for the rush for the only touchdown in that game. Patrick Mahomes threw 1 touchdown, and that was to Byron Pringle on that side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you're looking at that, this a while ago, you know, yeah, it was, you know what I'm saying, but you got a new face here. New running back, new quarterback, Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor. Still got the same quarterback over there, Patrick Mahomes. Eric Bieniemy and, you know what I'm saying, Reed as the head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs is 2-0, you know what I'm saying? They done beat the Chargers. And I had it right there on the tip of my tongue. I didn't write it down because, you know, I try to freestyle all these videos that I do, man. Try to just make them just like they bomb and just, you know what I'm saying, boom. With my Colts little emblem thing that I went and bought, you know what I'm saying, my little pancake. I'm trying to do my whole little Colts thing going on here, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to move it out the way because I think my dog is pregnant and reset up somewhere else. But anyway, until then, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, I was just rambling, yo. The Colts and the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So, you know, Jacoby Brissett ran for the only touchdown in that game. Marlon Mack had like 29 catches, single. He had 29 carries in that game, you know what I'm saying, for over 130 some yards. Um, Nevertheless, Coach did pull that victory out. This is week 3, you know what I'm saying? This is it's a hard pill to swallow to see your team come into week 1, you know what I'm saying, off a 9-8 season. That pisses you off about that because you're coming off a season with an old man who's named Phillip Rivers, who took you 11-5 into the playoffs, and then you got this BS season that you got that's 9-8, and then you're starting this season off like you always do. You come in and you're tied to the Houston Texans. That ain't like always, but you tied to them, you know what I'm saying? And then you get shut out by the Jacksonville Jaguars by way. I think that's like the 3rd time that they shut us out since like 2010 or 13 or 12. One of them is, yeah, yeah. It's just crazy to think that, you know what I'm saying, we might be going into this game with our 2 starters again questionable and might not even be able to play. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you got your defense now with Zaire Franklin, Grover Stewart, Yannick Ndakwe, Julian Blackman. You know what I'm saying? These are all starters. These aren't backups. Them are all starters for Gus Bradley's, you know what I'm saying, defense. And then, of course, you got, like I said, Shaquille Leonard, Mr. Talk a Lot. He's also, you know what I'm saying, limited practice or back to full practice, but he's questionable whether or not if he's going to play in the game against Kansas City too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what? It's man, this is it's crazy. You know, I don't know. You know, I do. I think the Colts can win this game. I do. You know what I'm saying? Just like I thought that they could win the Texans game, I thought that they could win the Jaguars game, and I think that they could win this game too. Not just because it's at home, but it's, you know what I'm saying? Just listen. The thing about what's going on right now that I want to preach about is that if we get off to these slow 1 and 5 and 6 starts with these, you know what I'm saying, the Texans, the Jaguars, you know what I'm saying, we all projected that we might lose against the Chiefs. It all depending on how we started the season off. No, I didn't think that we would really start the season off. I thought that they, you know what I'm saying, we're going to try to, I really thought that we were going to win that game. You know what I'm saying? We didn't lose it, but we didn't win it either. I did not expect to get shut out in week 2. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect the, you know what I'm saying, the starters to both be out in that game, and then let alone for Michael Pittman to not even travel with the team. You know, but now you're facing the 2-0 Kansas City Chiefs, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna come play aggressive, and they could blow us out too. They could literally shut us out as well. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I'm saying, what could happen. You know what I'm saying? I seen somebody say they could shut us out 77-0. They really, really could. They could, I mean, just it could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't want it to happen. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep talking about something like that to happen, but it really could happen. And that's a possibility going into Sunday's game. And especially if Matt Ryan is going to be down his rookie, you know what I'm saying, left tackle. And we're going to have to depend on Matt Pryor, who was showing progress last season. And some way, somehow now this season is declining. I don't know if this is that slow, sluggish start that the Colts start off with their players and how they begin the season. This is not acceptable. It goes into the tweets that's out there. Even with Stephen Holder, he said, let me pull this up real quick and read this tweet that he said. He says, gonna say this, then duck for cover. Deep down, I've been kind of blown away by the depth of the anger among fans when this team has had 1-5 and 1-4 starts in the past 4 years and overcome both. This is what they do. It's not okay, not at all. But we're just 2 weeks in. Somebody else has said something that made me want to say, yes, you're right. It's anyway, somebody replied to the tweet with saying, yeah, we're just 2 weeks in, but we're 6 years into this Ballard Reich regime, and we're tired of this BS. You know, you're starting off 1-5, and you're starting off 1-4. You're starting off 2-4 last season, you know, and you're saying to yourself, again, a franchise who, you know what I'm saying, is built on winning and you know what I'm saying, winning their division. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got the right to be angry. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean anger? You're surprised. I mean, we're tired of these slow, conservative, sluggish starts. We don't want to be the laughing stocks the first. Yeah, we have overcome them, but why must we overcome? And especially against games that we know that we can win. So with that tweet, with that anger, and what I'm trying to say is that, you know, back to the first 7 weeks of this game, you know, week of this season, you know, if you're starting off with a 1-6 start, where do you think you're going to get a win at in the second half of this season? Bro, we got the Eagles, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Chargers, just to name a few. Those are not going to be some cakewalk games. The last half of the season, this season, is much like the first half of the last season. Those were rough starts. So if we can't get these wins here, like I was saying in the video before, against a mediocre teams, you know what I'm saying, middle of the pack teams, elite teams, then what? Somebody also said in the tweet as well, you know what I'm saying? It's not about the team, you know what I'm saying? It goes deeper than that. If we done had 6 different quarterbacks at the helm, then you know what I'm saying, it goes deeper than that. And I'm just tempted to say, you know what I'm saying, shit, since we giving all these fossils jobs at quarterback, why don't you go to see if Tony Romo, Brett Favre, you know what I'm saying, seems like he needs a job with his little welfare scheme going on down there in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Hell, see if Troy Aikman or Drew Brees or somebody that's just, you want to give all these old quarterbacks a job, why don't you call one of them up, see if they do something. You know what I'm saying? Eli Manning just went undercover in Penn State. You know, I'm just saying, you know, you keep giving all these fossils a job and you got this elite talent and expecting something to happen. And then you got this guy who is a dominant play caller in when it comes to these mediocre teams. He can barely hold a candle to Mike Vrabel, even Doug Peterson. And now you got Pep Hamilton, you're tying with him. The Texans just lost to the Broncos last week. We got the Broncos in week 5. So it does go deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you got this elite talent that's here. You know what I'm saying? There's some really, really good talent. And I feel like if we had the right quarterback, like every single year, you hear somebody say on one of these programs, whether it's ESPN, whether it's Good Morning Football, whether it's a YouTube talk show, whether it's a podcast, and no matter what, they always say Frank Wright is going to get the best out of his quarterbacks. Bro, you done had 6 quarterbacks. Every year he says, even though, you know what I'm saying, this was a bad loss. And then another side note, you know what I'm saying, I don't know why people don't pay attention to this man's meteorite videos when he says I get out coached. He's only telling you the truth. He's getting out coached. He can't coach. We're getting out coached. Correction, you're getting out coached. That's all that is. You're getting out coached, yo. And so, you know what I'm saying, back onto what I was saying, you know, and you're tired of it, bro. I lost my train of thought. But it is deeper than that. It is. You know what I'm saying? You got 6 and you're getting the best out of them, but we ain't going nowhere. We ain't doing nothing. You always say we one step closer to where we want to be. Where is it exactly are we trying to go with you? Where I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm asking. Like, where exactly is it that we're trying to go? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's kind of angry, and you get pissed off and you get upset because you're sitting here and you're paying your money to go play, to go see these games live, and this is what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? And if we cannot win, like I said, week 1 with the Texans, week 2 with the Jags, you got week 3 with the Chiefs, you got week 4 with the Titans, you got week 5 with the Broncos. Week 6 with the Jags, week 7 with the Titans again. That's your first 7 weeks, bro. I gotta look and see who 8 is, but if I'm not mistaken, 9 and 10 is the Patriots and the Commanders. 8 is the Commanders, I think. It doesn't get any easier. It gets harder and harder. You know what I'm saying? We got the Steelers in Pittsburgh, another place we can't win. Not just with you. That goes back to Tony Dungy. You know what I'm saying? As the Colts getting the win in Pittsburgh. So it's this is gonna be very, very painful to watch. if these next couple days of training practice and the injury reports about these starters, and you know what I'm saying, every name on here that I gave you is a starter on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And if they're questionable and not able to play, the depth chart isn't great. It isn't immaculate. Hell, the starters is all that we have. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this goes Sunday. I'm going to do a pre kickoff show come Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Leading up to the game, you like I said. So look it out, man. You know, it's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. I wish the guys nothing but luck. I'm gonna be here rooting them on like I do every week, even with that horrible tie, even with that distasteful shutout. Looking forward to week 3, bro. And here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, last time in the regular season, we had Brissett, Marlon Mack, and they went down to Kansas City and won that game. We got Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor. Let's see what magic they can produce this Sunday. That's my time, yo. Like I said, if you've been to the channel before, and if you're still here with me 21 minutes, 22 minutes into this thing, leave your thoughts, your comments below on what I just said. I like to go a lot more in depth into my videos and what I'll be talking about and break it down, but you know what I'm saying? I'm only limited to a certain amount of time, so that's why it kind of seems like I'm all over the place and these videos are so long. But I try to touch bases on everything. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified every time that I drop a video right here on the Skinny Boy Coach channel. Yo, for me, my funky fresh crew who's knocked out, I'm sorry I didn't do a pan around the room so that you guys can see him. But yo, until tomorrow when we get the injury report updates and all that, and I drop one for you, peace and go Coach.